Hello, welcome back to Fix My List.
Fix My List.
Fix My List. This is the third Fix My List in 10th edition. Very excited to get back to it. If you were with us in 9th edition, you know this was a long-running series we had where we would fix those lists. We'd fix viewer-submitted lists and then go over them, analyze them, figure out, oh, this could be done better. You know, just go over our thought processes as to how a list is constructed and what sort of elements we're looking at when we write a list ourselves. This is less about making like one really good list and a lot more about teaching people how to evaluate their own lists when they're making them themselves.
Yes, we also try and keep the flavor of the list alive, so if there's some really unique or interesting tech piece that they want to keep, we'll try and keep that in the list.
Absolutely. So if you're curious how you can go about submitting your lists, then you want to head on over to the War Room that's down in the comments below, thewarroom.vhx.tv. And if that's too much to remember, and I get that, it's down in the comments below. There's a 3-day free trial going on right now, so if you want to check out all of our videos in which you can learn the game and become your best, as well as joining our global community in our Discord, go ahead and give that a shot. You can join up, get in the Discord, post your list, and see if it makes it in.
Yep. Just look for the Fix My List channel. It's all there.
Absolutely.
All right.
All right. Before we get into the first list, I want to thank Austin Wu, member for 3 months at the War Room Gold. We appreciate you very much. All right. The first list, we will have Marines at the end of this. They're the featured list. But first, Chaos Space Marines!
Yay! Chaos Space Marines. So what's in this list, Jack?
So we've got Abaddon the Despoiler. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of Mark and Nurgle in here. We've got Chaos Lord, Mark and Nurgle, Dark Commune, same. We've got 10 cultists, 16 Accursed cultists, 10 Chaos Terminators, 4 Obliterators, a Forge Fiend, undivided with 2 autocannons, interesting choice, a Venom Crawler, Mark and Nurgle, a second Venom Crawler, Mark and Nurgle, and 2 units of Flesh Hounds. All right, let's see if Marlon had any feedback on the list, because usually people leave some kind of notes with it. So from Marlon, let's see. Okay. Doesn't look like it. Just a... Oh, hello everybody. I would like you guys to take a look at this and fix my list. I mostly face Marines, Orcs, Demons, and Custodes.
Okay. So, can I just make the obvious change here, please?
What's the obvious change?
Can we just change those autocannons to ectoplasma cannons?
Yeah, It does not need jaws either, so we're going to just go ectoplasma. It's the same points cost. It hits very, very hard.
Especially into Custodes, that flat damage 3. This thing, with undivided and full rerolls, can legitimately pick up 10 Custodian Guard, and it's not even that unlikely.
It doesn't pick up 10, but it hurts them bad enough that they do not want any part of it anymore. And I would make a slight change here. Mm-hmm. Match the theme. I think I'm going to make it Nurgle as well.
I haven't thought about that.
Yeah? The reason, by the way, is not to match the theme. It's to get exploding 5s when you shoot.
That is
and also to not be shot back if you want to just poke one thing out.
Okay, but the one thing I want to say is that I don't want to have everything be Mark and Nurgle, because then you can only use the strat once.
Yeah, but you can use it anywhere you want.
That's fair.
And also, Nurgle does mean when you shoot and you pick sustained hits, you get sustained on 5s.
That is quite good.
So that is good. Now, there are some things here that I don't think need Mark of Nurgle. For example, the Cultists definitely do. Mm-hmm. The Chaos Lord, I'm not...
What is his role here?
Really sure what he's doing.
Is he joining the Terminators? No, Abaddon is the Terminators. What is he joining?
I don't really know. Let's see what his attachments are. Like leader, he can join, Chosen. He can join Chosen and Legionaries.
So is he just a walking Chaos Lord?
It looks like it.
Can we just cut him?
I think so. There's nothing in this list for him to join.
Okay, so let's just get rid of the Chaos Lord.
Yeah, I'm not really sure why he's in here. There was some confusion about why, about what he could join, but he can't actually join anything in here, so he's going away. People in chat, there will be a Space Marine list. It is the last one. There are 3. Mm-hmm. Okay, so, you can double up on the obscuration thing, but he can't actually join...
Units?
He can't join any units.
So he can only target himself?
Yeah.
I mean,
which is, like, fine.
But you just shoot him first, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, you can. And as the chat has pointed out, you can just add the changeling in, and
That sounds way better.
the changeling does the same thing for the same points cost, but is actually a lone operative, and is also miserable to try to target. So we can add that in.
Do you remember when you played that game and you had the changeling, and I had to I charged you and then failed the battle shock because I couldn't hit the changeling?
Well, you can hit anyone you want, just not the changeling.
Oh, God.
It's the only model you're in combat with, but you can target anybody.
Okay.
So with that out of the way, we do have some points freed up, which is super nice.
Yeah, so we have 75 points.
Looking at this list, what is it that we actually want?
So, kind of what this is trying to be is pretty standard CSM, which is Abaddon the 10 Terminator is going to run at you and murder you, while Obliterators, Forge Fiends, and Venom Crawlers trying to kill you, and then the Accursed Cultists and regular Cultists take up space. That's kind of the goal this list is going for.
Absolutely.
Unfortunately, I think for 25 points more, the Forge Fiend is just way better than the Venom Crawler.
It can be. Yeah. The thing is, I think this list has an issue with one-ofs. Yeah. In that one unit of Obliterators, one unit of Accursed Cultists, one Forge Fiend's fine.
Yeah.
But having one unit of Accursed Cultists doesn't actually let you take the board in a meaningful way.
Yeah, you need like 3 of them.
You need at least 2, I would say, to hit the critical mass of this is tough to deal with.
So do we want to cut the Accursed Cultists, or do we want to add more?
I'm not sure. Obliterators, one unit of Obliterators is pretty good by itself as kind of a tech piece, but I'm not really sure. You can put in a second unit of Oblits, and it's very expensive, but I don't think that's necessary. I think one unit of Obliterators with Undivided being this threat you have to screen out, because they do hit very hard.
They really do.
With rerolls to hit and wound.
They'll drop a knight with 4 rolls.
They can. They certainly can. Damage 6 up close is nothing to mess with, for sure. So these Fleshhounds are looking to be cheap nonsense.
Yep.
And I honestly think CSM has that covered.
I agree.
So with that in mind, let's put in a scoring package into this list.
Okay.
So something that lets the rest of this list just kind of do what the rest of this list wants to do.
So what are we adding?
So with that in mind, I want to add Cypher.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Cypher is great. Basically, he's a lone operative. He has a Vect. That's all you need, really.
His guns are not
fine.
Great. They're fine. He will occasionally shoot and kill 3 Eldar Rangers.
Let me see how many points this boy is. He's 105. He's
not totally worth 105.
He's not cheap, but what he is a Vect, which is a big deal. A Vect is where you make a stratagem cost 1 more for your opponent. That's a big deal. And then he's also a lone operative. So love that dude. He just vibes on objectives while the rest of your army does their thing. Now, we could add a second squad of cultists. The thing about cultists is that they sticky objectives.
Yeah.
So it's really nice if you want to just not put anything forward. You want to hide behind walls. You just walk 10 cultists onto a side objective, make them unshootable outside 12, and then as soon as your turn comes around, that objective is now sticky. And, it's your objective even if they shoot your cultists off. The cultists then screen out deep strikes, and your Terminators push up and get Mark of Nurgle, get Nurgle blocked, or Forge Fiend gets Nurgle blocked. Because Abaddon has every mark, so he gives the Terminators anything and everything that they could possibly want.
What a good ability.
What a good ability. I agree. So, with Cypher in there, we're looking at 160 points left, right? Abaddon, Cypher, Dark Commune, 10 cultists, big unit of Accursed Cultists, Chaos Terminators, Forge Fiend, Venom Crawler, and a Blitz. Let's take a look at Venom Crawlers. So Venom Crawlers have 2 Excruciator Cannons, which are 12 shots combined at 6-1-2.
Yep.
With exploding 5s, because they're Nurgle.
And then I think if they kill something, they get an extra attack. I think is their ability.
If they destroyed 1 or more enemy units, you add 1 to the characteristic of its weapons. So it goes from 12 shots to 14.
Mm-hmm. And then from 14 to 16.
To 16, which is super cute.
I feel like I'd just rather have the Forge Fiend.
Yeah, I feel like I'd just rather have a Forge Fiend. I could see having a second Forge Fiend. The Venom Crawlers are super cute, and they're good skirmish. They're not bad skirmish, right? But they're not going to kill anything.
They're not.
They're going to run into the issue of, they fire at something, it's in cover. So, 12 shots, 12 hits, because exploding 5s and you miss on 1s and 2s. So, 12 hits. Wound on 3 is going to be 8 wounds. They get a 3 up, you kill a couple models.
Yeah.
And they're going to need something real to come back and actually defend objectives, because a Venom Crawler by itself won't. It's AP1. It's not really going to kill too much. It's like a nice skirmish piece, but if it's on an objective, you actually need to help defend the objective and turn like the Terminators, drop in a Blitz, turn the Forge Fiend around to go deal with whatever that target is. So with that in mind, I think we're going to cut those and we're going to go bigger stonks and Forge Fiends, who when they shoot actually hit. Stuff, actually really kill stuff.
Forge Fiend and stonks super high.
Super high on the Forge Fiend stonks.
So are we adding 2 or 3?
I think we're just going to add 1. I don't think you need 3. I think 3 is a little...
So double Forge Fiend, that gives us... We're at 1725 right now.
Okay. Yep, got the app up right now. So sweet. 1725. You know what that reads to me?
What? Warcurse Cultists? Yeah.
Now we are actually tough. Question is, do we want to be Nurgle or do we want to be undivided? I'm not sure. I'm undivided on the topic.
So my thought is that they're not shooting anything, so they don't get the bonus from that. And there's already enough Nurgle stuff. You're probably not using the strap, so undivided sounds good.
Undivided lets you get real punchy with it. Nurgle lets you not be shot, but you can't not be shot everything. And there's a point where you really just can't, like, there's a point where it's pointless to have extra can't be shot. I'm perfectly fine letting this unit survive on their durability, and then when they get into combat, having the option to hit really hard. Undivided. Sweet. So that leaves us with 30 points left, which is
an enhancement?
I guess. I don't even know if there is an enhancement that... No, there's no enhancement you can take.
We can take the Liber Hereticus on the Dark Commune.
Can you? I don't think you can.
40 points.
I don't think you can take...
You make them undivided in the app, and then the enhancement's available.
Oh, I see. Yes. Yeah, the Liber is 40, which is...
It's good, though, right? I remember liking it when I read it.
It is, but legalists do be better than illegalists, which is a problem.
Who cares? Just
fair.
10 points over. What's 10 points between friends?
Nothing, really.
So when they packed, they'd get lethal hits and +1.
Yes.
Which is not bad.
Yeah. It's pretty good, especially if you have full rerolls to hit and wound. Again, in the chat, I know it says Space Marines up top. There is a Space Marine list coming, but we do try to do 3 different factions with just the featured list is a Space Marine Ultramarines list.
Yeah, we're gonna put some work into that one.
Yeah.
So we have 40 points, which is or 30 points, which is another thing. But 10th edition list writing is we can either add some stuff,
or we
try and
swap
cut a unit.
some things.
There's nothing in this index that's 30 points, right?
Not as far as I know. I would be shocked if there's anything for 30. We could cut the Forge Fiend and get in 195. I don't love that. Yeah, this is the point where we might legitimately not. This might end up being a 1970 point list, because looking at this, what do I want to cut, right?
Well, we could make one of the cultists undivided or marked and give them like the Zinch eye, so we get CP when they packed. But we do that already from Abaddon. Yeah,
what we could do is we could cut a Forge Fiend, and we could take a unit of 5 possessed.
We could.
And then you get a second cultist squad. But
I don't hate that.
Is that better, or is that just...
We're 25 points away from a squad of cultists, right?
Right.
So what if we cut one of those accursed cultists? What's like a min squad of accursed cultists cost?
It costs 95. This could be just cutting all of the accursed cultists, to be honest. Or it could just be accepting that the list is 1970 and...
Just living with it?
Just living with it. I mean, is there an enhancement... Hold on. Let me go to the rules reference here.
None of the enhancements are good.
It's true.
Like...
None of the enhancements are worth cutting.
The only one that's
take.
worth putting on... Hold on. What if we... What's the Slanesh one do?
The Slanesh one, good question, is... Intoxicating Elixir. The bearer has 5, Feel No Pain 5+. And then if the bearer's unit made a Dark Pact this phase, select one enemy unit hit, they'd have to take a Battle Shock. That is terrible.
That's not great.
Yeah.
We got a $5 super chat from Jimmy Guy. Do you prefer all infantry custodies or include Caladia's tanks in the list? What do you think of Alaris bricks? What size of Alaris squad is best? And let you handle this one, Custodies Master.
Yep. Do you prefer all infantry custodies? I do, actually. I think the Caladius tanks took a big mobility hit because fly doesn't work very well at all. And and they move 10 instead of 14. They are more durable, but they also are kind of swingy depending on how many hits they get and how many invulns your opponent passes. The re-rolling to wound is awesome, for sure. But they are expensive, and 2 of them can just be another brick, and another brick probably gives you a little bit more. As far as Alaris bricks, I think they're great. They hit insanely hard. You can take a 2-man Alaris unit as a skirmish piece. You can take a 5-man plus a captain or a 6-man plus a captain and just hit bananas hard whenever you go in. They're an amazing rapid ingress threat as well. So people in the chat say cut Cypher, then I'm not going to finish that one, but cut Cypher and add other stuff in.
I have an idea.
What's your idea?
We cut the cultists and we add the blue scribes.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I like sticky objectives, but I mean you can just have the blue scribes on the objective. Yeah. You definitely take the Changeling.
Changeling doesn't fit.
Changeling 75.
Does that? Oh yeah. What did I add? Oh, I still have the intoxicating elixir in here. Yeah, that should work.
Yeah, the Changeling is so good. Whee.
And that gives us how many points if I add the Changeling?
So if you cut the cultist unit and you add in...
We're 10 points under? At that point, we just accept
No,
it.
10 points under is 2k, like, basically. There's nothing to be done there, so you're just, 1990. Mm-hmm. I think we ship it. This list hits very, very, very hard.
This is good.
Yeah, you have the Chaos Terminators. By the way, I'm just going to very quickly change this to 7 combi weapons. Or 8 combi weapons, no 1 combi bolter in here. And we're going to go to 2 autocannons.
Yeah.
And as well, we're going to take more power fists. This is going to be 6 power fists. And 2 accursed weapons.
I like this list a lot.
Yeah. I like this quite a bit. 2 chain fists, 6 power fists, 2 accursed weapons, 8 combi weapons, 2 autocannons. That unit will hit substantially harder. So I really like this list quite a bit. I think this is where we're going to leave it. And before we head on, we have we have a super chat. We have some people to thank. All right. We have Pantaleimon. Welcome to the War Room Bronze. Glad to have you in here. Go ahead and post your list up to Fix My List, and it will be in contention. All right. Next up is Jimmy Guy, $5 super chat. Any advice on playing GSC as Custodes? They seem nuts at the moment. They are very nuts, actually. But Custodes can potentially try to live through it. Mm-hmm. Wardens and -1 damage are your friend. So once you see them commit to a unit, you pop a 4-up Feel No Pain, you pop -1 damage, and you just bunker down. They might actually kill you by the end of the game, but if you're on every objective and you can burn enough turns from them, then potentially you can just score all the primary as they kill you. Also, having a rapid ingress unit to go just clear a zip code full of dudes is very helpful.
One thing you've been talking about a lot is how Custodes can ring an objective and then make it sticky, and then GSC can't ever take it.
That's right. They drop in, even if they shoot you to death, it's still your objective. All right, next list up, the last one before Space Marines, I know everyone's waiting, is going to be Demons. So we've got a Demonic Incursion. Let me pull up, if you want to read out what's in the list, and I'll see what they have to say.
Bellicor and a Great Unclean with the Endless Gift, which is the 4-up Feel No Pain relic, so that guy's real tough. We have Shalaxi Hellbane, a Lord of Change with the Everstav, 2 units of Blue Horrors, 5 Flesh Hounds, and 18 Flamers.
Yep. He says he would love our input on the above list for an upcoming LSO event.
Oh, he's playing Lone Star Open.
Congratulations to Nick as well for his big win this week. Yeah, Nick just took down the Capital City Clash?
I think so.
Whatever. It's in Tallahassee, which is where we are located, so it would have been odd if he didn't go. We were out of town at the time, but he showed up and he took it down. Well done him. Okay,
All right.
so we've got Bellicor. Oh, you've already read it over.
Yes.
Whatever. So let's pull up the list here. First things I'm thinking about here is I don't love the Great Unclean One.
He's durable, but boy, does he not do anything.
He's also not as durable as I would like it if he were.
Yeah. So he's what does he do? He's toughness 12. He's 5 up, 4 pinvoln, 20 wounds.
An Endless Gift.
An Endless Gift, which gives him a...
Gives him a 5-up Feel No Pain while he's in the
4-up.
Shadow of Chaos. He has 4 Feel No Pain.
Yeah.
So he is ludicrously tanky.
So he's basically effectively 80 wounds at toughness 12.
80
Right,
wounds?
because he's 20
Oh,
wounds.
because
double
if you're
doubles.
talking about the
Yeah.
4 pinfall, yeah.
Here's the issue with him, right? So what does he do? He's like 6 attacks at 8 2d6.
Yeah, hitting on, I assume, twos.
Yeah.
He doesn't do
Do
that much.
anything.
He's OC5, which
Yeah.
means he gets beaten on objectives by almost every troop unit in the game.
Mm-hmm.
So here's how I would counter the Great Unclean One.
Just ignore it.
You take a 5-man unit of troops and you charge him.
And he fights it for like 3 turns.
He fights it for 3 turns. Most of that time, you're going to have the objective out from under him.
Yeah.
And you won't kill him, but he's not going to do anything.
He is the most ignorable model in the game.
Yes.
He's expensive, he's slow, he's durable, he does no damage, his OC is not high.
Yes. You can steal objectives out from under him very easily. And this list does not love turning around that much.
No.
I will say, he is stupidly durable.
Yeah, he doesn't die to anything.
Toughness 12 with a 4-up invuln and a 4-up Feel No Pain while he's within shadows, which he will always be within shadows, you Bellicor,
Yeah.
is pretty dumb. It's real dumb. They're going to have serious trouble killing you. But I don't think you're going to be able to do anything, and they're going to focus down the rest of your list. Because here's the deal.
Once you kill Salaxi, this list doesn't actually hit with anything.
Exactly. So they're going to try and kill Shalaxi, right? The Great Unclean One being durable doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
Because Shalaxi has a target on her head.
Mm-hmm.
And the Great Unclean One does not. So he's not actually pulling fire into him, where he would actually be tanky. So he's going away. Mm-hmm. He's durable. He does not force your opponent to actually attack you. And at that point, why is he tanky? Like, I would rather he be less tanky and my opponent actually puts fire into him. But they won't. They'll put it into Shalaxi, they'll put it into the Lord of Change, they'll put it into Bellicor. Or they'll put it into the troops, where the troops can actually die.
Yeah.
So, looking at this, you have some options. Mm-hmm. The Lord of Change with the Everstave does shoot significantly hard. You can give him a friend.
I like 2 Lord of Changes. I also like Fate Weaver a lot.
That's what I was thinking. You can give him Fate Weaver and go for the Big Boy Brigade. I know Nick is loving that particular combo of Big Boys. Yeah. Where you take Bellicor, Shalaxi, Lord of Change, and Fate Weaver. He loves that particular combo.
So that gives us 25 points to play with if we add Fate Weaver.
It does. It does. The other thing I want in this list are some of Demon's best units, which are the Lone Operatives.
I also want some Nurglings.
I would like some Nurglings. I want some Lone Ops, because the Lone Ops are...
They're incredible.
Insane. They're so good.
The Changeling might be one of the best characters in the game.
Yeah, for sure.
That's
75 points for a Lone Op that has 5 wounds with a 4-up invuln and has multiple abilities to scam you into not attacking him. It's really strong. And if you're playing demons, I want that in my list. So it's possible we could just leave these 3 big boys as
alone, and we just add trash.
We just add more stuff.
Okay, so let's leave Fate Weaver out for right now. Let's go ahead and add the Changeling.
Yep. Let's let me not cut the Flesh Hounds. We're gonna add the Changeling, and I like the Blue Scribes as well.
Lone Op is just a very powerful rule by itself. Like, I would not pay any points for the Blue Scribes, but I'm paying 60 points for the Lone Operative rule, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah. He doesn't do anything, but he is fast, which means he can actually get on objectives and action on them immediately.
12,
whereas Flamers moving 9 are 1 shy of getting on an objective turn 1.
That's so sad.
Yeah, if they moved 10, they could get onto a center objective, start an action, turn 1, but they can't because they moved 9. Mm-hmm. So that means you need somebody who can move a little faster. That's the Blue Scribes. So if we add in the Changeling and Blue Scribes, where are we at, Quinn?
So that puts us at 1830 if we cut the big boy and we add the Blue Scribes and the Changeling.
Some no shoot me packages. Yeah. I kind of want these blues to be pinks.
I have the exact same thought. I like pinks a lot more than I like blues.
Pink cars, thank you.
So we're adding 2 units of pinks?
Yeah, we're just going to upgrade them.
Cool.
Pinks are very annoying to deal with because they have a 4-up in combat. They have a 4-up in shooting. And it's very easy to take something like something very scary in combat that doesn't quite have 20 attacks and just drop these things in 6 inches away from Be'lakor and just go and tag them. And
Like, these guys will tie up Angron for an obscene amount of time.
yeah, because they kill like 8 and
Come back.
then 8 come back.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and then he kills another 8 and 4 come back. And then he kills the unit.
Yeah.
It's like, he spent a full battle round just tied up with a unit of pinks. So that's very good. We're left with 170. We're not left with 170. We're left with a little bit more, with a little bit less than that. We're left with, I think, 120.
140. I have 1860 right now.
Can't do math. Sweet. Leaves us with a little bit of points.
I want something that punches.
That is tough to do, my friend.
It really is.
You got Shalaxi. I don't know what else you want.
Shalaxi punches, and that we're going to accept that.
You have Flamers. It's very difficult to get actually good combat in this list.
Mm-hmm.
Outside of, like, doing... You can just try and score scam people, where you just deep strike on objectives, take them away. Deep strike behind people, take stuff away, teleport up, teleport down, and just try to scam people on the scoreboard, which is a very powerful strategy for armies that can pull it off.
Scoreboard's how you win.
Yep. So what we could do is we can add more units. We have 140 points left. We can add a 3rd unit of pinks, or we can add like 3 units of Nurglings, or a unit of Nurglings and a unit of 100 points or less.
There's nothing in here I looked that I want for 100 points. I don't hate 3 units of Nurglings.
Yeah, that would take us to 20 under, which there is legitimately nothing to be done about that.
We could do a unit of... We could just add another unit of pinks.
We could.
I think I'd rather have 3 units of Nurglings, though, because they're just so good at doing actions, and they're actually kind of annoying to kill.
I agree with that.
Is there like a 60-point unit?
Are you thinking just 2 squads of
2
Nurglings?
squads? I don't... My legitimate question. Is there something else we can fit in there? For 60, there's not really. Is there anything for 80?
So basically the thing here is don't forget what you're trying to do, which is you are trying to rack up the scoreboard really hard in your favor.
I think we just accept that as 1980. We just do that. We do 3 units of Nurglings.
There's nothing for 60?
Nothing I saw.
Okay. So in that case, yeah, we just take a 3rd unit. They deep strike onto, not objectives because they can't actually hold objectives, but they deep strike, do actions. You have pinks to hold objectives. You teleport around. You have lone operatives. You have flamers doing actions, falling back. This list just prints points.
Yeah.
That's all it does. It just prints points. Yeah, that's the main gameplay. You have units that score you points. You have units that hold objectives and take objectives away. They're OC2. It's pretty stupid. You have units of flamers also doing the same thing. I mean, we could drop a unit of flamers for
more pinks.
More
I
pinks.
like 3 units of flamers.
I think I like 3 units of flamers.
They like pretend to hurt.
They do hurt. Their AP1 ignores cover. Like they clear nonsense stuff, and then as soon as your opponent overextends, they get Shalaxi to the face. And if Shalaxi can go to work on their big units, the flamers actually do just kill them. Lord of Change does kill them. And this list is like impossible to shoot at. This list scores 1,000,000 points all over the place. That's basically it. Don't try to just run down main and table people. But if they overextend with a big unit, you drop Shalaxi, tactically airdrop Shalaxi on top of their unit, and you delete them. If they don't overextend, you're playing a point scoring game where you have the ability to drop 3 inches away and score a whole bunch of points. So with 3 units of Nurglings, that should round us out at 1980. Yep. So you have the ability to score a bunch of points if they don't overextend. You're shooting them with the Lord of Change. You're not shootable from Be'lakor. You have the Changeling Blue Scribes to be on objectives in the open. Can't shoot them. You have Flamers jumping around, shooting their trash to death. And if they do overextend, Shalaxi, bang. So they have to play a fair game because they get Shalaxi to the face. I like this list. I think it's quite good. All right. Last up, the one that everyone has been getting mad in the chat about, Space Marines!
Yay!
We are going over a Space Marine list.
But before we do, we have something even more important.
What do we have?
We have Quentin's fun fact.
What's Quentin's fun fact?
There are over 1,000 types of cheese.
There are?
That's been Quentin's fun fact. All right. So what's in this Ultramarines Gladius Strike Force? We have Rabute Gilliman. We have a Primaris Apothecary with Bolter Discipline and Uriel Ventress. We have a 10-man Desolation Squad with Super Cracks, and I'm going to assume that there's a Vangor launcher on the Sergeant there.
There is, yeah.
There's 10 Stern Guard veterans, 2 bolters, and bolt rifles, 5 Terminators, 5 Sniper Scouts, a Vindicator, 2 Gladiator Lancers, a Land Speeder, and 2 5-man Exaction Squads.
Okay, so first off, this list is titled Win Salt Lake Open, which is that's a bold goal.
Very bold.
For sure, but that means you're looking to go full bore Space Marines as hard as physically possible.
The good news is that...
apparently there's 1,001 types of cheese if you include Desolation Marines.
That was good. I appreciate that.
His comments are, I like this list a lot, and I think it has legs, but I found in my practice games that I struggle holding primary. I'm playing with the idea of possibly a second Termi squad instead of the Vindicator. Stern Guard go in Deep Strike with Ventress, and Apothecary with Bolter Discipline, and go Burr. Desos do Deso things and help control primary. So, let's take a look at this. Uriel Ventress gives a unit Deep Strike.
He does.
So that lets the Stern Guard veterans Deep Strike. You can put the Apothecary and Ventress in that unit, and the unit hits pretty good. Here's the thing. If you put Bolter Discipline in your Deso squad, you will shoot with Bolter Discipline for 5 turns.
That's correct.
And at some point you'll pop out with the rockets and really mess someone's day up. If you drop in Stern Guard on somebody, you largely have to assume that that's a one-way trip.
Yep.
If your opponent cannot answer your unit of Stern Guard dropping on your face, then you're probably already, like, if your opponent can't answer that, then you've probably already won.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Right? But if the game is even remotely up in the air, the Stern Guard are going to drop in, do a decent amount of damage, and then die. You're not really going to be able to, against somebody who's playing a good army well, unlikely to have the Stern Guard just kill, shoot, over and over again.
They don't do that.
So, I like the Stern Guard. I even like them deep striking. I don't like them being almost 400 points, like 375, I think.
Yeah, so...
With the Apothecary, Ventress, and the veterans deep striking in. Plus, it's very easy to screen out.
There's also no infiltrators in this list, so I think this list just gets shot in the face by GC real hard.
Yes. If you're planning to go to an event right now and you are playing Marines, if you want to have a shot to win the event, you're going to probably have to play into GSC. And if you're going to play into GSC and you don't have minimum 2 squads of infiltrators, you are in a rough spot.
Very rough spot.
A very, very rough spot. Because they can deep strike on top of you, and their profiles will kill you. They will kill you stone dead. Like your Desolators, your Stern Guard, anything on the board is dead when they come down.
It might legitimately table this list in 1 turn.
Yeah, or close enough that it doesn't matter. So what do we need to do? You have good shooting into them. You just need to make sure that you live through their drop turn. And with that in mind, if you are playing in an event and you are trying to do well in an event, trying to win the Lone Star Open, you need infiltrators. They're not a bad unit regardless. There's a lot of teleporting around in the game. But just for GSC in particular, you need that to make your opponent play fair. Otherwise, you won't shoot them until all of a sudden there are 100 neophytes and acolytes up in and around your army and you get killed.
Yeah. So why don't we just go ahead and cut the Stern Guard veterans?
I think we can leave it in.
Okay.
I think we can leave it in. I'm much more interested in cutting these Terminators.
I agree.
And the Vindicator.
Yeah, the Vindicator doesn't do anything.
So the Vindicator, it's not that he doesn't do anything, right? Like the range weapon is D6 plus 3 blast at 14 minus 3 D6, right? 24-inch range on a tank is a little rough, especially into good lists. He's not good into GSC, he's not good into Eldar. Eldar will Phantasm out of your range or to the side. 24 is just too unwieldy there. Yeah. And especially into like other Marines who are, shooting you out of line of sight, things like that, you're going to you're going to have a bit of a rough time there. So I think the Vindicator is just a little overpriced right now and poorly positioned in the meta. So I want to give that a cut. Similarly, I think 5 Terminators is not enough Terminators to be worth their points cost.
I don't hate 10 because it's a bulky unit, but 5 is an awkward number.
Yeah. 10 can be difficult to shift, is a very, very nasty threat coming out of reserves, especially with rapid ingress. But 5 is like, hits the perfect mix of expensive and ignorable.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't love that.
Okay, so when we got those.
Yeah, I could see us going up to a 10-man, but I don't see us staying at a 5-man.
I agree.
With that in mind, we have a land speeder. Its ability is if it select an enemy unit visible. Every time a friendly Adeptus Astartes unit makes an attack with a blast weapon, you get +1 to hit, and you gain ignores cover.
But Death's ignore cover anyways.
Yes.
Probably not worth 80 points.
Yeah, I would say the land speeder also is going to go because we need to free up points for these infiltrators.
Mm-hmm.
You can take the Phobos Librarian, which is very funny. The Phobos Libby is very funny in infiltrators because it makes them not able to be shot outside 12, and then the infiltrators mean that you can't arrive from reserves within 12. So if they want to do anything to that unit, they have to rapid ingress and then walk up and try and punch them or drop demo charges on them after rapid ingressing. Mm-hmm. But if they walk up to you, then you leave. You just D6. I'm outie.
Yeah.
So that unit is pretty good. I don't want to put that many points in the screening just right now, but I'm not against it. It's a solid unit.
Yeah.
But we do need some infiltrators.
So why don't we go ahead and add 2 squads?
Yes. It's just mandatory to play the game if you want to play into GSC.
So we're at 1685 with 2 squads of infiltrators. And you know what I want, Jack? Real bad? I want a second squad of sniper scouts.
Sniper scouts are pretty crazy. They just are very good.
So now we're at 1760 as this.
Yeah.
So we have 240 points left before we cut anything else. What do we think?
I like it a lot better.
Mm-hmm.
It can actually play the game. Here's the thing. I want some more ones.
100%.
Yes.
I also want a Thunderfire cannon.
Thunderfire is very good too. You slow your opponent down, make sure they can't do anything as you shoot them.
Mm-hmm.
Big fan. I'm not too impressed with Gladiator Lancers into the top end of the meta right now.
Really?
What's the top end of the meta, Quinn?
Eldar and GSC, that is fair. They just died at GSC. Their shooting is not negligible, but Marines don't hurt for like random Stormbolters. And they lose the tank war with Eldar so hard.
Yeah, they lose the tank war because your opponent can pop a Fire Prism out, shoot all their Fire Prisms through it, and then fire and fade. Or pop their tank out, shoot all their other Fire Prisms through it. You go to shoot them back, and then they Phantasm away.
I was like, oh, the Lancer's better than the Fire Prism. And in a vacuum, that's true if they play on Planet Bowling Ball and they're shooting each other with no buffs. But the package that the Fire Prism get means they win the war against the Lancers like 95% of the time.
Yeah, they also always get the first shot.
Yeah, 100%.
Because the Lancers poke out and the Eldar leave, and then the Eldar hop out, and Marines don't have Phantasms, so the Lancers just disintegrate.
The Fire Prism kills the Lancer much better than the Lancer kills the Fire Prism.
Yes. You also have Fate dice. You have 2 full rerolls. You have 2 rerolls to hit, 2 rerolls to wound, and flat damage. And every time you just need 2 to go through to kill it, and it's AP 4. So what that means is they're a good tank. They're a very good tank. But into the top end of the meta, they don't work.
Okay, so we're going to cut those 2.
Mm-hmm.
I do want some anti-tank in here because right now we just have the Deathos squads.
Right, and we do need that. But I don't think you can take 290 points of dead weight into the top.
Eldar and GSC if you're trying to win?
No.
So why don't we just go ahead and add 3 whirlwinds?
Yeah, I also don't think we need the exaction squads anymore.
No, I don't think so.
I think they're good. We have enough skirmish. Like, I like the Stern Guards, and I like them deep striking in. I want to leave that in.
Cool.
So if we take a whirlwind, right?
That gives us 150 points left after 3 whirlwinds.
3 whirlwinds.
We're adding 3 whirlwinds, Jack.
I'm not against it, but they are insane.
So good.
They're still really, really, really good. And it's kind of, unfortunately, Space Marines thing right now, where you are an indirect army.
Yep.
You can't keep up with, you can't get good guns onto Eldar. You can't get good guns onto GSC right off the jump. So, unfortunately, you're an indirect army.
Okay. Can we add a Thunderfire cannon to make me happy?
We can. How many points does that leave us with?
I think like 100.
Okay, so we
it's more than I
probably
thought. We have at least this was 60. It's 90 for the T-Fire cannon.
Yeah, we need to add a little bit of anti-tank.
We do. Okay, let's just go ahead and cut the Thunderfire cannon. I don't like it.
How many points are we left with?
We're at 150 right now.
150. What are good sources of anti-tank in Marines?
Desolation squads and Lancers are the two best.
Yes.
I don't hate us adding one Lancer.
I don't hate it. I also... You can take Eradicators.
Eradicator's not bad.
Are cheaper. They still have the same issue of that anti-tank is kind of a meme into Eldar and GSC. But there are knights out there, and people love running their knights, and they love trying to run you over with them. So... something that would be good would be a Land Speeder, or a Storm Speeder Thunderstrike. If you hit... I believe it's the Thunderstrike.
The extra AP1?
No, the Thunderstrike is if you hit a monster vehicle, you get +1 of wound against it.
That is very good. That helps the Desos kill things quite reliably.
It does. It does, for sure. Storm Speeder Thunderstrike. Let me just make sure that's the right one. It's 160. And...
look at it.
Yep. Every time a friendly Adeptus unit makes a ranged attack against that unit, +1 to wound.
That puts us 10 points over.
Is that with Triple Whirlwind?
Triple Whirlwind, yeah.
Triple Whirlwind with +1 to wound
will kill tanks.
Will kill tanks. Yeah. They're pretty scary.
So will Desos with +1 to wound.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because you wound like tanks on 5s at that point.
Yeah, and then you full rerolls to wound, and you're AP1, and you have exploding, you have exploding 5s. Yeah. Because you're going to put that unit into Devastator Doctrine every turn, and then you spend the 1 CP to be AP1. They ignore cover. So big knights get 4-ups, and you wound them on 5s with full rerolls to hit, full rerolls to wound. I don't want to know how much damage that does, but it's more than I'm comfortable with.
It's
for
quite
sure.
A bit.
And then you shoot them with whirlwinds that wound them on 4s and full rerolls, and then they get a 4-up against that, and you'll get the job done eventually.
Mm-hmm.
So this list plus a Thunderstrike is
10 points over. So where are we cutting 10 points?
Oh, that's a toughie.
Welcome to 10th edition list building, everybody.
Well, I know what I'm not cutting.
What?
I was going to say any of this, but
The person that looks on the chopping block is Uriel Ventress.
He is. He makes the Sternguard Deep Strike.
We could cut Uriel and add a third squad of Sniper Scouts and maybe 2k on the nose.
Yeah, Sternguard can also reserve.
We can
come in off the side.
Yeah.
I tend to agree. I think I think Sternguard stay. I think Uriel goes.
I legitimately like Sternguard. I think 10 Sternguard is good.
Yeah.
With Oath, they do a lot.
Apparently, a drop pod saves us 15 points, which means that list would be legal. So we could put Sternguard in a drop pod. I'm not against it. Don't love a shooting army dropping a
pod.
Pod.
Please tag me.
It's just a GG. Even if your opponent is a shooting army, what they do is they charge it. They make sure that they block themselves. It's a little harder now, but they block themselves so they don't kill it. And then they kill it on your turn after you've already...
Oh, so like 3 squads of Sniper Scouts.
With
+1 to wound, they start to kill knights real fast.
They also hold objectives in the open.
They do.
Which I like.
Yes. Can we give them missile launchers?
You can, yeah, totally.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, you can do that. So where are we at on this list?
So for cutting Uriel, we're gonna get him out.
I don't think we need exactions. We got Sniper Scouts that can hold objectives in the open. We've got Guilliman. You got a Primaris Apothecary in the squad.
This is 2k on the nose.
This is 2k on the nose. I'll be honest, I like this list.
I like this list a lot.
Substantially more, yeah.
Yes.
This list shoots very hard. Mm-hmm. It needs Oath of Moment to shoot hard, but hey, guess what? You've got it.
Got it, yeah.
And also you've got Guilliman to double Oath of Moment. You've got Sternguard to show up and be very scary for one turn. If you can keep him alive for a second, that would be a big deal.
The Guilliman also does not hit soft in combat.
No, he will
kill an armature 100% of the time.
Yeah, he'll pulverize people for sure.
Yeah.
So we got some super chats before we finalize the list. We got Tylen Blast with a $2 super chat. Where to deploy infiltrators against GSC?
In a place they can't be shot.
Yes. So a good GSC opponent will attempt to kill your infiltrators. They won't just say, I can't get to them, so we won't do it. Honestly, I wish we had 3 units of infiltrators in this list instead of 3 units of sniper scouts, but
The points don't.
points don't line up. So what you want to do is you want to put one roughly with your Desolation Squad, screening out your backfield. So you want to make sure they can't get behind you, they can't get into your ruin, they can't do any of that. So one kind of in the center of your army, kind of towards the back, holding your back zone. Then you want another one infiltrated a little bit up on the side, behind a wall, with some other stuff that can, can push them back. Maybe Stern Guard veterans, something like that. Something else that can do damage. I wish we had a little bit of melee power in this. Maybe put them with Guilliman or something so that Guilliman can't be dropped on and shot inside 12. And then Guilliman can defend them in combat, and that's synergy right there, baby. High Taurian, you basically just want to try and make a bubble and screen out as much as possible without getting them shot. High Taurian has a 5-pound super chat. How does the Marine list play into Necrons, and is there any value in suppressors at 95 a squad?
What does suppressors do? Are they -1 to be hit, or -1 to hit if you shoot you?
I believe if they hit you, you're -1. But they also have like a decent gun. Honestly, what I want in this list is I want a unit of Inceptors.
Ooh, I like that plan.
Yeah, Inceptors are good at dropping in and killing Desolators, because you in Devastator Doctrine, and then you give them +1 AP, they reroll hits and wounds against them, they're damage 2, they drop in 3 inches away. They're good against GSC because they drop in 3 inches away and take blips down.
They do that.
And they're good into Eldar because it's a lot harder to run out of line of sight or range if you can drop 3 inches away.
So suppressors, I don't think are worth it at 95. Their gun is good, but their issue is they're 95 points for 3 Space Marines. They just die.
Yeah,
like always.
That's probably what I would I would say with it. We've got and how does it play into Necrons? You basically are going to try to kill as much stuff as physically possible. And if
try and kill like all the DTAs and then ignore the Lich Guard brick, and then you focus fire them down.
Yeah. I'll admit this list has a bit of a weaker Necron matchup than what I really want, but it's teched a little bit more to deal with other threats. Honestly, I could cut one of the Whirlwinds and try and get something else in there. Cut one of the Whirlwinds, upgrade a Sniper Scout to an Infiltrator unit just to tell GSC to go kick rocks. And then we would end up with 135 points left to do question mark
Does
with.
become those the issue?
It's a pretty big issue, yeah. I don't really know what it becomes.
I like this list.
I like it, yeah. You just indirect people until they're dead. Alaunda Lorenzo with a €2 super chat. Relic Terminator's Chain Fist equals anti-tank. It can.
Sorta?
It can for sure.
Like AP2, right?
Yeah, but it's anti-vehicle 3+.
Yeah, but like if they have armor contempt, they're 2-up, so get 3-up saves.
If you're fighting Space Marines, I think you're already winning.
That's fair.
Because you're now playing to Eldar. Fred Fortman with a $10 super chat. Lancer versus Eldars, you reserve the Lancers. Take Frag Storm Launchers instead of Storm Bolters, and Lancers average 20 shots into GSC. You definitely do take the Frag Storm Launchers. And an average of 20 shots into GSC is not nothing. The problem is I think they just kill it when they show up. You can reserve the Lancers, but you arrive from reserves, you look at whatever unit you're trying to kill is just going to leave.
Yeah. I feel like a larger issue is also like the Lancer has 2 shots, right? But it on average takes 2 shots to kill like a Hornet or a Warwalker or a Fire Prism. And the first one's free. They're just going to pass it.
Yeah, if they're in cover, they get a 6-up, and they're almost always going to be in cover.
Yeah.
And if they get a 6-up, the first one will go through, you do a bunch of damage, and then the second one they're like, nah, Fate Die. That one doesn't stop it, doesn't do anything.
Which means then you have to commit 2 Lancers to kill 1 Hornet.
And then 2 Hornets will kill
2 Lancers, yeah.
It's rough. George Bloater with a $5 super chat says, how do Custodians, Knights, and World Eaters fare with the new terrain setup? Seems the terrain density may have closed the gap for combat-only armies. It certainly helps a lot.
It does.
I will say World Eaters have the ability to project a lot of threat out of the center of the board. Like, if you mess around, you will find out. Let me put it that way.
I have found that the center, like, pocket on the GW runes, because 2 terrain pieces are doing this, so you can fit, like, right here, is really good. You did that yesterday into me. You jammed a whole bunch of Blood Angels into there. I think it really helps combat armies, but it's just leveling the playing field because shooting is so much more powerful this edition.
Yeah, shooting is incredibly strong.
Knights, a lot of GW terrain is pretty shallow, so Knights like it.
Yeah.
Like WTC is harder for knights just because each player gets like a giant L that you can legitimately hide something behind. But like on GW, if everyone is 3 or 4 inches tall or 5 inches tall, this
yeah, knights just get shot. Yeah, they just get
Or they
shot
shoot
right
you.
off the bat. Yeah, I mean, I can see things I want in this list, but I don't see things I can cut to get there.
Yeah, I agree.
So I think you just have to compensate by shooting them a lot. Desolators.
This list shoots very hard.
It shoots very hard. It has a lot of infiltrators and whatnot, but you need the infiltrators.
You do.
Do I need 3 units of sniper scouts? Like, the only thing I could see to cut here would be sniper scouts and a whirlwind. What do you get for 225?
Not much.
And the answer is not much. Yeah. You could take like 2 squads of inceptors, but that's going to be, I believe inceptors are 115. So that'd be 5 points over. And if your list is 5 points over, it's 1,000,000 points over because you can't actually cut anything to get there.
God, I wish I could kill like one dude, right? Like I wish I could make like a 9-man Stern Guard veteran squad.
We could take a Devastator squad and then the Thunderfire.
Oh, we could do that. A Devastator squad with 4 grav cans.
Yeah, just 4 grav cannons.
That does help into tanks.
It does help a lot, which is nice. And I'm gonna, and they're also not bad in GSC
They're not, no.
because they're like 3 shots apiece at strength 6, AP 1, damage 3.
Something like that. I think damage 2.
No, they're damage 3. They. I would be willing to bet put a sub on it. Ranged weapon, grav cans are damage 3, 3 shots apiece, heavy, anti-vehicle 2+. They are not bad. So I'm going to say we're going to cut a little bit of the out of line of sight because I don't actually think that's going to stop at vehicles very well.
So we're cutting the scouts and the whirlwind, and we're adding a dev squad, and now we have 100 points left. We could add 2 dev squads.
They're 220 or 120, sorry.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah, so it doesn't fit, unfortunately.
Unfortunately.
So Devastators, and then we've got grav cannons, and you can give them ignores cover and AP2, and then
Quite good.
you legitimately scare things quite well. So, how many points are we looking at?
We got 100 left. 105.
105.
How much are Inceptors?
115.
Ah.
Yeah, it's not ideal. I mean, we could cut the Thunderstrike for a Whirlwind and then add Inceptors.
I like the Thunderstrike though.
I like the Thunderstrike too. Maybe they don't own 3 Whirlwinds. Whirlwinds are probably kind of hard to find right now. Man, I wish we could just add another squad of Devastators, to be honest.
Well, what can we cut to make up 15 points? Bolter discipline.
Imagine. I don't think you do that, honestly. No. I'm just going to put the skirmish down here and the shoot up here. That way you have a unit of Devastators that can reliably ice a tank.
Yeah.
Especially if you make them AP2 and you just like with full reels to hit and wound. We don't have anything that loves pushing up into the center. Perhaps another unit of Infiltrators, just to...
Yeah, that would give us 15 points.
And then that would probably be the end of the list.
Yeah, okay.
Or we take a Thunderfire, and the Thunderfire is probably better.
I like the Thunderfire, because it also helps the Necron matchup quite a bit.
We take the Thunderstrike. It does. You just tell them that they're slow.
Yeah.
Thunderfire. How many does the Thunderfire cannon?
90. So why don't we have 15 points left, so what if a second squad of Sniper Scouts gets upgraded to Infiltrators?
I don't love going down from 2 to 1 squad of Sniper Scouts. I do like having the hold objectives in the open
plan.
But honestly, GSC can go to hell. Yeah. It's just the look on your GSC opponent's face when you're
Infiltrators.
Like, no, stop doing your thing.
You don't get your thing.
Yeah.
That's 2K on the nose.
That is 2K on the nose. I like that a bit more. You have a bit more of stopping tanks because you walk out with, quite a few shots that wound on 2s. It's not bad. It's pretty good, especially if you point them at something and then you just wait and you have heavy and Yep. I think this is a little bit better because you have heavy weapons in there. I think leaning too far into the Whirlwinds is a mistake.
I agree.
Thunderfire's there to just slow people down, make them very sad if they're a melee army and they're trying to rush you. Desolation, shoot the heck out of them. Stern Guard can come on and shoot the heck out of them. I like this.
Also, not bad in the GSC.
No, not bad in the GSC because we have triple Infiltrators, Thunderfire, a bunch of indirect, things like that.
Cool.
All right. I think that is where we're going to put it.
Yeah.
Okay. I think that is us for today. Let us know what you thought about. Let us know what you thought about the lists. Anything down in the comments below. If you like this video, please leave a like. It really helps us. Subscribe to the channel. Hit the little bell icon so you know when we're going live. Tomorrow, Quentin and I are going to design a Yonari list.
I'm excited for that one.
Yeah, that'll be fun. We'll design it.
coming near you.
Design it live on camera, and then we will be playing it next Wednesday. We're going to be playing the list that we wrote live, so you can watch how it is.
That'll be me and Asix's Grey Knights.
Ooh, that would be fun. Aiden with a super chat right at the end, just getting it in right there at the end with a $2 super chat. Could you include a Calidus? You 100% can.
Calidus is good.
Calidus is great. This is how many points under?
This is 2,000 on the nose.
This is 2,000 on the nose.
How many went? She 115?
She's 115, yeah. There's not really something to cut here, unfortunately. Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you find room for a Calidus, she is quite good.
Yeah, she's quite good.
Yeah. All right. Everybody, we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.